peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
To you, and thank you so much for joining us. This is The Punch, where we get to look at the news that made headlines over this week. A lot of it that we've talked about on the show, and also the latest in the newspapers this morning. And of course, one that is making headlines this morning is that Raila Odinga, the opposition leader, and President Uhuru Kenyatta's handshake partner tested yesterday positive for COVID-19. So according to his doctor, he's doing well and he's responding to, treatment very well. So we wish him a quick recovery there as he continues with his treatment. And also President Uhuru Kenyatta is meant to be making a speech today, 1 year after Kenya first tested positive for COVID-19 in the country. President Kenyatta is expected today to reveal the way forward, so we shall look at that also. And of course, the rumored illness of Tanzania's president in the country. And also this week we saw a bit of, I don't know if it's turbulence in the handshake there that some felt was threatening the gains that have been made so far by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. And we saw the COVID-19 vaccine rollout in the country. But our first story will be this one that happened yesterday. I think Dr. Matanga mentioned it before we went for the break, and I'll just read through quickly, and then we still have the panelists we had earlier, so I don't think there's a need to introduce everybody. Deputy President William Ruto and Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiangi yesterday clashed over the role of police service in political matters, and I think let's just watch a bit of what Deputy President William Ruto said yesterday.
Na sisi kama serikali ya Kenya, msimamo wa katiba na msimamo wa serikali ya Kenya ni kwamba jeshi ya polisi is an independent police force that is not expected to take instructions from anybody. And therefore, we expect from our police force, and the government of Kenya has gone out of its way to make sure that our police service has the requisite personnel, the requisite infrastructure, the necessary equipment for them to discharge their mandate and responsibility as per the Constitution. And we expect the IG to provide the leadership and the command that will ensure that we have a professional, independent police service that does not bend to political interests or partisan considerations. I want to say, for the record, that the police service have no excuse. They should not blame or try to apportion blame to any group or side. They have a duty to ensure that every citizen, their property and rights are protected. The biggest threat that this country can face is if the police service is partisan or responds to political interests. That will pose the biggest danger to our country. I want to ask the IG and the police service, the Constitution is very clear that the police is an independent service, and therefore They must discharge their responsibility as required of them by the Constitution, and they will carry the responsibility if they don't measure up to what the Constitution expects of them.
William Ruto yesterday speaking on the police and asking, the police IG to provide leadership there. And Interior CS Matiangi also responded to that. So let's just hear what he had to say, and then we shall start this conversation.
Viongozi wote wa usalama katika nchi hii ya Kenya, awe Inspector General wa polisi wetu, awe ni viongozi wote wa ngao, tusimame imara, tufanye kazi ile tumepewa ya kufanya, tulinde katiba na tulinde nchi yetu. Do not be intimidated by noise. Let us do what we need to do to support our country. I cannot sit in the National Security Council and insult the Inspector General in public. Na tunakaa na yeye kwa National Security Council, nimupeleke kwa public, kwa matanga, kutusi yeye kwa matanga, na ni Inspector General wa nchi yetu. I sit in the National Security Council with the Inspector General of Police. We have one of the best security officers as our Inspector General of Police. Mr. Mutiambai is a great guy. I work with him on a day-to-day basis. We have very solid police officers in the country who work sometimes under very difficult circumstances. Tuwaheshimu na tufanye kazi nao. Because if you slap someone in the open, mahali kila mtu anakuona, do the police need an order from me to arrest you? Wananchi kweli, mtu akipiga mtu hapa hadharani, anahitaji waziri amwambie akamate huyo mtu? Najua kuna aibu ingine tumejiletea hii nchi, saa ingine unashangaa. We have lowered down the standards of leadership even in some offices to incredible levels.
All right, very well. Okay, Doctor, start us off.
Miriam, I don't know whether you are hearing me well in this other arrangement.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yes. This guy, Ruto, is a hypocrite. Very dangerous animal for this great nation and this great continent called Africa. I'm sorry to say this tonight, and let me be on record, that should you select such a man for your presidency, be prepared to have the worst nightmare of presidency that you can ever talk about. You know why Ruto is naive politically? Ruto sits in the National Security Council, where the police officers are, where all the intelligence networks sit. How silly can you be? How low can you be to come to question on a funeral? If it is not cheap publicity, it is not politics of popularizing your name cheaply. You have stolen the whole bank, taken all the money. Corruption has eaten everything. People are even quiet. Time has come for the truth to come out. It is up to you Kenyans. I'm not a Kenyan. But I am telling you, Ruto is exhibiting very serious signs that under his leadership, if he ever gets this leadership, things will be, there will be more refugees running out of Kenya. There will be more arrests because his style of doing things are just impulsive. You can't make a statement about the police when you are in government. Why don't you just pick a phone and call Mutambai and call the Inspector General and tell the Inspector General that I am not pleased with the way the police are handling people. He is under you. The police is under the president. Then you come around and say the government. Then what are you doing in the government? Why don't you pack on the ship? Let's not make even a long story. It is up to you people, you Kenyans who will decide. But if I were the one to decide to vote, I will not vote for Ruto. Because he is not worth it. He has exhibited the signs of a dangerous animal that could actually kill all the siblings, eat the siblings, then eat even the traces of the siblings. I would not. I would not. Have you seen the way this Uhuru Kenyatta wants to build a legacy? If I were Ruto, I would use this legacy. I would stand behind the Uhuru Kenyatta legacy and win an election. I would work with my boss and win an election. He says he doesn't want anything to do with Uhuru Kenyatta. What kind of man is this? What kind of person is this? His people on Facebook want to insult Uhuru Kenyatta from morning up to evening. When you come with one statement like this, they all come to insult you. But they don't give any value. They don't give even a value argument. They don't know whether they wash their faces. So we have a problem here. The mentality of having bad leadership in Africa is what causes Africa what we have today. Believe me or not, I have told Kenyans, and I continue to tell Kenyans, and I will continue to say it. In 1981, Madam Miriam, we had similar traits of President Museveni. I was there, I was not told. Some of these Kenyan boys running around Facebook say in 19, as if they were there. They were not there. But I was there. I was in the government, not only there, I was in the government. That overthrew Lule, that overthrew Benaisa, that conducted the elections. I was there. I have seen the signs now here. You stick upon coming with guns, Baraza threatening people, Echesa beating people. Where do these people belong? Washali jumping over a woman, beating up a woman. Where does she belong? Where do they belong? They run into the father. Who is the father? Who is the father of all this violence? Who teaches them these violent acts? Why do they commit acts? Why is it that the MPs from Mount Kenya who are allied to President Uhuru Kenyatta or Raila's MPs who are allied to Raila are not going around doing the things that the MPs who are in Tanga and the UDA are doing? Because somebody is planting violence. And if you don't talk about this violence, tomorrow you will tell me. Tomorrow I will be where I am here today. But you will ask me that man said this. Miriam, it is high time we stood our ground. You stood your ground as Kenyans. You bring the BBI, he doesn't like it. He goes back to his county, tells the county, abstain. He thinks the telephones he uses, people don't know. They hear them. The telephones are hard. They hear them, what he does. Tells them, they don't abstain. Look as if you did not know, you did not want, or you wanted. He goes to Baringo. He tells the Baringo people, fail Moi, to shame him nationally. The statements that the MCAs have recorded are very clear. You go there and see. So you have a problem there with this type of violence. I saw it. I've seen it. I have distanced myself from violence. And I believe some other people will also distance themselves from this type of violence. I submit. You are in a government, and then you ask us to go and tell the police then what are you doing in the government? Are you in the government or not? Why don't you pack on the ship? Go somewhere else, then criticize the same government. Why is it that it's only the Tanga men who are being harassed? Why? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Douglas Kirimi, your reaction from what the DP said and the response from CS Matiangi.
Miriam, the other day when the Deputy President was in Nairobi, he was almost killed in Nairobi, and people are not talking about that security breach in Bama. People were pelting stones at the Deputy President. It was not actually the motorcade. At the crowd that was surrounding Deputy President William Ruto, they almost cut his ear with a stone. And the GSU that was around and the police officers guarded him and evacuated him immediately, and he suspended his meeting from Bama. People don't want to talk. Government itself was ashamed because of the acts of the Deputy President. People almost killed the Deputy President in the name of supporting him in Bama, Miriam. People, supporters of different politicians almost struck the face of Deputy President when they wanted to pelt stones. Actually, they had pelted a stone that almost cut his ear. And people will still give us problems here, especially the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. When you talk ill about police officers who are guarding your life, you know, Miriam, today, if he continues insulting the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga and goes to Kisumu, the same thing or worse things can happen. It is only the police officers, the poor police officers can save him. It is only the same people that he has been talking, saying that they are being used by government to save him. So Miriam, at the end of the day, as a people, as a country, we need to respect our security officers and also respect the government that we serve in. Because this man draws a salary from the government and also still continues saying that a police force that is being used by government is a threat to national security and on all manner of things, Miriam. What we are seeing today is that the police officers are trying make sure that this country is safe and also our politicians are safe. But what we are seeing from the right, Deputy President William Ruto is pure arrogance, and it depends on the same police officers to be able to guard his life and guard his property. Miriam, remember there was also an attack at his home in Talbo constituency, and Deputy President William Ruto continues telling Kenyans that police officers are being used for the wrong things in this country, and they keep guarding his life. I think, Miriam, from my perspective, this is the greatest hypocrite of our time, who will depend on the same police officers and then still give us a different version from the same. And also what Yes Matiangi is saying is the right thing. We defend the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya and also guard the rights of Kenyans and property, Miriam. What we are seeing today from our leaders is pure hypocrisy, especially from Dr. William Ruto. This should not be entertained in this country. When you depend on the same police officers and still say that the police officers are being used for the bad, who are those guarding you with red beret in their heads, with all the weapons that they can be able to guard your life, so that you cannot be able to be armed by anyone. So Miriam, when our leaders continue in this country taking for granted the security measures that are being put in place to be able to take our country forward and also protect the lives and property of our leaders, it is very, 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 very wrong, and I condemn it in the strongest terms possible, Miriam. It is wrong for a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya to go and stand and say the police officers are being used for the bad by the state, in which government he serves. Miriam, he enjoys state security and police officers. Poor police officers follow him wherever he is, including when he is campaigning for a personal ambition to become president, Miriam. Remember, this is a public officer. This is a public officer being paid by taxpayers. My taxes are paid this man. They pay even police officers that guard him for him to continue and advancing his own agenda to become president of the Republic of Kenya. We have no apologies in criticizing a government officer who uses our taxes to continue his agenda to become president of the Republic of Kenya. These are things that people across the nation should be able to condemn. A man who wants to become president, he still wants to use our taxpayers to become president, which is a personal ambition, Miriam. I condemn whatever William Ruto said about our security officers, and they are doing a good job, Miriam. Remember, in as much as he's talking evil about them, they will still continue guarding him because he is also a Kenyan and he is also our leader, Miriam. Thank you.
All right. Very well, thank you so much. So after that criticism by Deputy President William Ruto, CS Matiangi said some people have decided to stoop too low to a point of pettiness and desperation. We have lowered the standards of leadership even in some offices to incredible levels. How on earth will you sit in the National Security Council with the IG, then you go criticize him in public? And yeah, so what do you make of what happened there yesterday, Javen?
Indeed, it's very sad that the Deputy President of Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, goes out there criticizing and opposing the same government, sabotaging the government that he is serving. That is quite unfortunate because as a leader, if you feel unsatisfied, Miriam, if you are in a relationship that is harmful, that you feel is frustrating you, is not giving you a room to blossom or to grow, what you do, Miriam, you vacate, you leave, and you go and look for greener pastures. I don't see why Deputy President is still insisting to remain in Jubilee government, to remain in the government of the day, while he is complaining that the government is intimidating him, the government is blackmailing him, the government is not offering him security. Why? What are you doing there if you are not treated well? I think this is double standings, this is double speak, because I think the best option that the Deputy President has is to leave the government that he says is not really working to ensure that the livelihoods of Kenyans are uplifted. Because at the end of the day, if the government of Jubilee fails today, Deputy President will be solely accountable for those failures because he is part and parcel of the Jubilee administration. But Miriam, here, when it comes to the success of Jubilee administration, a Deputy President wants to take credit. When he goes to Meru, he is telling the people of Meru how the government of the day has delivered roads. When he comes to Nyandarua, he tells the people of Nyandarua how the government of the day is working to ensure their potatoes get good market. Mira market is looking for Mira market abroad. Therefore, you see a man who is using the government scorecard to campaign and at the same time are criticizing the same government. That is so unfortunate. That is bad. That is bad manners because Miriam, he need to style up. On the issue of security officers, on the same very meeting that the Deputy President was intimidating and speaking ill of police officers, there were police officers present who are guarding him, who are ensuring that he is protected. If he means what he says, Miriam, the best he can do is to walk the talk and say that he does not need government security, and he releases them off duties and he speaks with the IG to take all the police officers that are guarding him so that he can remain, stand his words. But we are not seeing that happening with our Deputy President. Therefore, this is a hypocrisy. This is a man who wants to buy sympathy from ignorant Kenyans by pretending to be a victim of state intimidation. But that is not the case because we know very well wherever the Deputy President goes, he is accompanied by police officers who ensure that he is protected, even when he is propelling a Hasra narrative that is not part of Jubilee administration. I think President Uhuru Kenyatta is one man who is, when it comes to friendship, he has really gone to some extent to protect his Deputy President because what the things that he is doing, if it was somebody else, he could have been kicked out of government quite a long ago. Today, Miriam, as we are speaking, the same Deputy President is a party leader of UDA and doubles as a deputy party leader of Jubilee Party. You see, this man is a man who has gone to extents of blackmailing the Jubilee administration, of belittling the president, because he can't be running a parallel party that is a phase of opposition in the same government that he is ruling. This is a man, I don't know how history will judge him, but it will be harsh. It will be harsh for this man. Okay. And I think People of Kenya should see the deputy president of who he is, a political conman who wants to ride on the ignorance of Kenyans, who wants to ride by acting as a victim of state intimidation in the government that he is serving. It's only the deputy president who goes answering his juniors, intimidating his juniors, and we expect him to be a good president. No, no, no. This should not happen, and Kenyans should open their eyes.
Right.
If a man has failed as a deputy president to deliver on his mandate, how will he deliver as a president of this country? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Javen. And also Matiangi said, I cannot sit in the National Security Council and insult the IG in public, more so in a funeral, yet I sit with him in the committee. You have to ask the IG in the council about an issue that you go, before you go to insult him in public. Musa.
Thank you, Miriam. Unfortunately enough, we live in a world whereby the court has become people's opinion, Miriam, whereby social media is the decider of who is right and who is wrong. Unfortunately, Miriam, our leaders have failed to use logic over emotions, reason over assumption, and statesmanship, Miriam, on false statesmanship over false conviction, Miriam. What do we mean by statesmanship here? When you are told in the Constitution, you are a symbol of national unity, that tells a lot. You are the one who is in charge of national security. You are the one who is the symbol of national sovereignty of this country. And what does that mean? If today, Miriam, God forbid, Uhuru Kenyatta finds himself in a very awkward situation, then the person to take over and to ensure that the country is stable shall be his deputy. So the question I'm asking, is William Ruto really responsible today if President Uhuru Kenyatta decides to give him power, Miriam? This is responsibility. That is the reason why Donald Trump was never given nuclear codes, Miriam. He had it, but the CIA and the Pentagon had to accompany him with someone who shall be monitoring, anytime he uses that nuclear code. Miriam, that shows that, he is being monitored. People are not trusting you. People are shocked that Donald Trump will one day wake up and just activate those codes and send them over to Russia and Iran. Miriam, can we trust William Ruto with our national security? That is the question. Because the issue of national security supersedes all other things. You are seated in National Security Council, Miriam. And unfortunately, our deputy president is not learning from history. He is not a good historian. Remember, Miriam, when United States of America intervened in Iraq in 2004, the person who was managing everything and all the things to go about in United States of America for George Bush was his deputy president, Dick Cheney, Miriam. He was managing how many casualties have been reported in Iraq, how many casualties have been reported in Fallujah, how many reimbursement of funds are going to be needed, how many insurgencies and violence are coming up. Literally speaking, Miriam, the deputy president, actually we say the reason why George Bush succeeded in that war and even in that country, it's because of his deputy. Now come to this Kenyan continent. Kenya, a country called Kenya, Miriam. National security is very important. Number two, should a leader define himself by choosing populism over the interest and the goodness of the nation, Miriam? This guy knows very well he is carrying a mass following. He knows he was voted in constitutionally. So when you are telling the public, when you are telling unregulated media, the word unregulated here, Miriam, this is the media whereby the mad and the insane and the one who is fit, everyone can shout. That is the reason why you are seeing Eric Omondi doing everything he can. This is a dirty media. No one can expose you. No one can defend you. That is the reason why President Uhuru Kenyatta had to shut his Twitter, Miriam, receiving trolls day in, day out from unknown people trying to create unnecessary things. And now here we are.
The deputy president is so wise enough that he lets the public to decide. Miriam, one thing Deputy President William Ruto should understand. Voters come and go, political slogans come and go, politicians come and go, but the flag and the sovereignty of this country stays forever, Miriam. There shall be no day Kenya shall be tempted to change its flag. There shall be no time Kenya shall be told, oh, now, the red, black, green, and white strips has been so irrelevant for over 7 years, we change our flag. No, Miriam, it shall never happen. And the same to police, Miriam. The word police comes, emanates into the word policy and policing. These are the people who push government agenda forward. We have administration police, people who help President Uhuru Kenyatta, Miriam, with implementation of government policies. We have county commissioners. These are policy implementers. You have a chief. So he should be able to differentiate between the violence he is trying to emanate among the police. Yes, we know. We have a lot of issues in police. But how I wish Deputy President could have brought pertinent issues like cattle rustling, how over 150 police have lost their lives in Kapedo, Miriam. Does he have the audacity of speaking about these people who are dying in the line of work, line of duty, Miriam? Does Deputy President have the courage to say, one day, we thank you for who you are? Because, Miriam, look, these police are really helping us in a lot of things also.
All right.
You might blame them for a lot of issues here and there, but you can also give the credit where it is due.
Very well.
But now I'm not seeing that genuinity of good intention from him. I'm seeing a sense of populism. I'm seeing a sense of opportunistic. I'm seeing a sense of a leader who is trying to take advantage of every situation which is emanating in this country, Miriam. And finally, submitting my case. As far as the issue of security is concerned, you are seated in the National Security Council. One of the core issues, Miriam, which you are entitled to carry all the time, secrecy. Some issues are meant to be classified with. There is protocol. If you see something, report and say to the president and even the person who are concerned, this issue is alarming. Why do you have to wait for a Kamukunji, Miriam? Why do you have to wait for people to be seated somewhere so that you can tell them what has been happening, what has not been happening? Jeshi la polisi. Let me tell you one thing, Miriam. As long as we also blame these guys are playing a very key role. As long as he is complaining that they are mistreating him. If today, Miriam, someone wanted to assassinate him, God forbid, then the easiest way to access Miriam is to breach his security protocol. And that is the police. These guys are doing everything possible. Those police catches, as you are seeing every day, Miriam, it is not as if he is being denied any police protocol, Miriam. He is being given a clearance when he is traveling on a highway. He is being given every opportunity he needs. So I will tell Deputy President William Ruto, choose logic over emotions. Analyze your reasoning over assumption, Deputy President, and be a good statesman over false conviction.
All right.
Because the office of the Deputy President, leave alone the man William Ruto. Let's talk about Murumbi. Let's talk about George Saitoti. Let's talk about Musalia. Let's talk about Kijana or Malwa. It is the office of the Deputy Presidency which deserves respect and honor. And that is what you saw last week in Zimbabwe, where the Deputy President had to resign, not because he is convicted, but because he wanted to show respect and honor to the office, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much. Doctor, what are the dangers of putting politics and security together in a country?
Miriam, I missed the other question.
I'm saying, what are the dangers of trying to put security and politics together in a country?
First of all, Miriam, I concur with the sentiments expressed by Matiangi, and then the sentence, all the sentiments by Javan, under the panel, Musa and Douglas. Look at this. You mix politics with security. It is like mixing oil with water. The two don't go together. Mutambai is not a politician. The chief of intelligence is not a politician. The commander of the army is not a politician. They don't rely on your politics to make decisions for the betterment of the people of Kenya. You sit in the Security Council. You corroborate ideas. You bring your views. You should have gone to that place and said, this Monday, Security Council always sits on Monday very early in the morning. If he doesn't know, I don't know whether he knows. But it sits very early in the morning on Monday. Okay? And they bring all issues that are affecting every citizen of the Republic of Kenya from all corners. The components of the Security Council are very known. The guy sits there, but this guy is on a populist martyrdom politics of martyrdom, to die, to make people die for him, to make people love him, because he knows that the police everywhere, in every world, every part of the world, is the weaker link. The weakest link is police. If you go to Britain and mention Metropolitan Police, people will support you. They think they are very bad. You know? Mixing politics with security is bad medium. If you look at the pictures, the way the MPs, the honorable members of MPs are saying, look at the members of all of them, from whatever divide, I don't care, Mr. Koech, whether you are from this side or the other side, I don't care. I'm only saying what I see. I'm not biased. I am sincere. You can't sit in the same cabinet, then you use the same plate, then you insult the same plate to say it has a problem. Why don't you tell the plate that, please don't come near me? I don't want to eat with you. I don't want to put my food on it because you are stealing some of my food. So for me, what the Deputy President should do is to come up and go to the IG, summon the IG. The IG will go to his office. He explains some of these incidents and also teach his supporters to be tolerant. His supporters look as though they are a makeshift outfit that target Al-Shabaab. They go there armed with guns. Look at Waluke. Mr. Waluke came with a militia from Mount Elgon, wanting to bring a militia at a polling station. Those are not policemen. Those are Waluke's armed men. The government had to withdraw its pistols. Look at the soldiers. If you look at the soldiers who are on the side of the Deputy President, look for what they are trying to do. You will learn something is not right. All the soldiers, Captain Baraza, Captain Waluke, Major Waluke, Kapondi, okay? These are people who have been a chaser. Remember, in 2013, over 80 people died in Bungoma. Nobody has talked about the 80 people who died in Bungoma. Who killed them? Who killed those people? There's no country that you can go and kill 80 people. Then you walk free and become a minister of state of something when you don't even have English. Because you are a youth leader of ODM. You know, there are so many things that people have stomached, surely. 80 people were slaughtered in Bungoma in 2013. And the man who was believed to be behind the stage robbery, the stage killing. He himself came up to say he knows how to kill. Do you know what a chaser told me? A chaser told me in Intercontinental Hotel, I have that evidence on tape. He said, I did not know that you are a Mugistu. All along I thought you were a Munyankole or a Muganda. Then I asked, what were you going to do if I was? Then he said, you'd know what I would have done. But now I've known you, a Mugistu. You are my brother. Can you imagine that? This is a man they promoted as a minister. He told me, myself, and I said, thank you very much, Kumbe. What the people say about you is real in my heart as I was walking away. So imagine this man was gonna even finish me thinking I was a Munyankole. He should have looked at my nose. My nose don't predict Munyankoleship. If you have studied morphology, my nose are ordinary Mugisu, Eluya, separated by a river around Marichisi, Wakaka, and Cheptais, and Chepkube. We are separated that way. But this guy, when he realized that I was not, now he started talking to me in Luya. So Miriam, imagine under the panel, if I'd been somebody else, I was gonna be pumped copper. The guy works with 2 guns. What you want? And okay, 2 guns. The court says return all his guns. The guy was importing $49 billion worth of arms. Where were the arms going? Now we know all these things, mixing politics with security, can create insecurity. And that is the bottom line. We know. Me, personally, if you want to ask me, and I hope the panel listens to me, Nani, this man is on plan B. He's not on plan A. Mr. Ruto has a plan B. Be prepared for it as Kenyans. The signs I've told you. We had Museveni. He had the same problem. You hold the election. He says he's going to court. He withdrew the case. Then he says he's going to the bush and told us bye-bye. When we went to Obote, myself, we went to Obote to say, why? Obote arrested us. He said, where did you get the information? And the same day that we were dressed down by the president, the same day, and this is historical, my experience, we went to the 4th floor of President's office in Parliament buildings, near Parliament buildings. Obote told me, sit down. Who told you to go and gather this information? I said, yesterday I was in the Speak Hotel. These people were planning to go. That same night, Museveni disappeared to the bush. If you Kenyans don't learn from this, that there is somebody telling you, you know, he hates the police. These are the ones he will begin with. So it's up to you. He's a Kenyan. You can give him the votes. But for me, who has seen all these things happen, I tell the truth. There's a plan B, which these people have. Because for a man to mix politics with security is not worth it, Miriam. Let's move to the another topic, maybe.
Okay. All right, very well. And we know this week a vaccine was rolled out and Kenya received its first shipment of the AstraZeneca vaccine last week, produced by the Serum Institute of India. The country received 1.02 million vaccines from the COVAX facility, with vaccination rolling out targeting priority groups such as the medical workers and teachers. Moreover, an Indian plane ferrying 100,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine landed at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport last evening. And we've seen a couple of questions being, raised over the safety of this vaccine, and I think we had that conversation here a couple of days ago. And as we speak right now, I think there are a country in who are using the same vaccine in Europe, and they were raising some concerns about blood clot and all that. But right now, it has been confirmed that there's no indication that AstraZeneca vaccine is linked to the blood clot. This is according to the European Union. Should now this information there go to allay any fears on Kenyans who perhaps might have heard that information and were worried and maybe got anxious about even going to receive this vaccine? Should this allay any fears of any possible bad side effects of this vaccine? Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. In terms of this vaccine, I'm not a medic, but there is one thing we need to also accept about these vaccines. When these vaccines or you are vaccinated, it also goes to your immunity. It also goes about the health of your body. So the issue of blood clot in some countries, and also those countries that have been able to ban the vaccine, it cannot be ruled out 100%. There are so many other countries that have been able to vaccinate their people, and there are no issues concerning the same. So when these vaccines come, this is not the first vaccine for people to have issues. For example, a man with a low immunity today, if you get vaccinated by not only for coronavirus, but another thing, for another disease, you can have side effects for the same. When you are treated for these drugs, there are people that can have these kind of reactions. Remember, when we were having so many deaths, corona deaths in Italy, other countries were not having the same, but that was also attributed to the low immunity and also the old age population that was in Italy by the scientists. So we cannot be able to rule out 100% and say that this vaccine is also bad for our people. We should ban it. Actually, we should be vaccinated. Then we can deal with the side effects later on, because Miriam, at the end of the day, nobody wants to die of coronavirus. Today, speculations are very ripe. If I get that vaccine today, I'll get vaccinated before 2 p.m. Because, Miriam, I don't want to die. People have been hiding this coronavirus to their people. Poor people have been dying. But when a prominent person has contracted coronavirus, we are treated to all melodrama and every qualm and whims that we can be able to be treated to. The case in question is Magufuli of Tanzania. Magufuli has been rubbishing everything about coronavirus, but when he knew that coronavirus has hit the bone of Tanzanians, he said that people, including on social media, if you say God is good, the next sentence is corona is real. He told newspapers, please, when you write your issues, Magufuli has visited this place, write below there, corona is real. Why, Miriam? Because this virus is a killer disease. When we start bringing conspiracy theories, include religion, include faith, include issues of blood clot and all that, people that have been vaccinated in Kenya and some other African countries, there is no issue of blood clot in our bodies. The countries that have banned this corona vaccine should bring it to Kenya so that we can be vaccinated, as we can deal with other issues later, Miriam. Because at this point, Miriam, we cannot keep speculating and following conspiracy theories around this vaccine. Because at the end of the day, Miriam, it is about our health. And including when the President of the Republic of Kenya addresses the country at 2 p.m. today, it is no longer an issue of government trying to defend its people. It's an individual. When you die, you die. When you die of coronavirus, it is the end of story. Government will just announce your death and we bury you in less than a week and we forget about it. So, Miriam, at the end of the day.
All right, go ahead. At the end of the day.
No, I'm just interested. If you die, you die.
Yes, doctor. At the end of the day, we need to tell each other the truth. If a president dies today who has been ignoring corona, it is them that have died. It is not their citizenry. When a citizen dies, the rest addressed the President of the Republic of Kenya, and he said that this boy is in the court of Kenyans. And truly, we have buried loved ones, family members because of coronavirus, Miriam. The recklessness that we see today, the lack of wearing masks and also washing hands and all that. Kenyans have been defiant, people have been defiant. When you die, you are going to die alone, Miriam. It is in your hands now. It is in the hands of people across the bridge. But at the end of the day, if these vaccines, Miriam, are reacting to some bodies, because I believe it is not the whole country that was vaccinated and the whole country and blood clots in their bodies. It is up to them to be cautious of those blood clots. But Miriam, I've said that in the genetic makeup of every individual, there can be various issues that can crop up when you get vaccinated or when something new that has been introduced in your body. Mm-hmm. So if they have issues with that, they can bring that vaccine. I can get vaccinated. My family can get vaccinated as we move on, Miriam.
All right.
But for Kenyans, we need to be very cautious about this coronavirus. For example, I'm asthmatic. I don't go everywhere. I don't go meeting people. I don't go anywhere. I just stay in the house. I go out when it is necessary. I have to go get my food supplies or get the food supplies for myself. But at the end of the day, Miriam, when a person in a country, when a particular group of people decide to continue ignoring this MOH and also government protocols, and they die of coronavirus, nobody shall be blamed. Government will not be blamed. We have seen a politician yesterday was in Bundarangi in the name of Deputy President. The Right Honorable Prime Minister is in hospital today, but he was holding a very major rally there telling people they should direct him and so that he can bring 100 million to Bundarangi when he's elected the president in 2022, Miriam. A very good question before I end this point. Miriam, when the people of Bundarangi die of coronavirus and you become president, are you going to take 100 million to trees and also stones and the rivers in Bundarangi? The answer is no. At the end of the day, people, especially our leaders led by Deputy President William Ruto, who is fond of pulling crowns across the country, should desist from this and let us deal with this third wave of coronavirus in peace. And this vaccine should be distributed to the people of Kenya and other countries that want to bring them to the country. We should be vaccinated as we shall deal with the consequences later on, Miriam. Because at this point, it's civil death first. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Miriam, let me come in here.
Okay.
Madam, before we go to the next person. On the question of clothes, I just want to thank this panelist friend of mine. Thank you very much, Douglas. Clothes. A cloth is when you are sleeping on the bed. The people who died in Denmark is 80-year-old. They sleep 70, 80. They are sleeping. They are not moving. A cloth comes when you are stagnant. A cloth can happen to you, Miriam, if you sit on that chair from morning. That's why we have 5 minutes or 10 minutes after every show. In fact, here we violate very many rules. Between me and you, let's agree. Yeah, we talk the truth. We talk throughout. We should be having, Mr. Production Manager, should program us from next week. We have 20 minutes show. 3 minutes, and we come back because we don't want to receive cloth. We don't want Miriam to have cloth. You don't want Matanga to have cloth. You don't want all these people. You should relieve us. A cloth appears that way. I have from experience that I've seen. If you are sleeping on the bed throughout, they give you another medicine that can make you not have cloth. But I am glad that the European Union today has said it was not due to the cloth. The clothing was not due to the medicine. For me, let me take my take. Take it. You know what I said yesterday? Have it. Gentlemen, let's not beat about the bush. We never prepared ourselves. This thing came. I am happy that President Uhuru Kenyatta and the government prepared themselves so quickly. Ruto opposed all these things. Ruto did not attend those meetings. So he has no right to talk about. That's why he calls the crowds. But let's be very honest. If we are going to use the vaccine, when will the vaccine reach the ordinary people on the ground? First, what do we accept? We accept the vaccine. But tell politicians like Ruto to stop. Their helicopter should be tied with chains in Wilson. Yes, from today, their helicopters should not move. In fact, I don't know why the Air Force should implement this law. If they see a helicopter in the air, bring it down. Unless you have got authorization where you are going. Because they have got helicopters, stolen money. They have bought helicopters from stolen money. They fly over us. They fly over people, crowded people. Oh, I am in Maranga. I am this way. Oh, I am in Busia. Oh, I am this. Your money was stolen, which you would have bought hospitals, brought hospitals and drugs. Now you are clapping over mine. These helicopters, some of them should be impounded. That's how I think, how I am. I'm not very comfortable. I'm not very comfortable, Miriam. With helicopters flying over people who are sick. There is nowhere where the deputy president has told people, wear your masks. He has never. He begins by harassing only Matiangi. You know? He doesn't even say, please, wash your hands. At least Museveni does this. Every meeting I've watched over Museveni over radio and the TV. He says, you people, don't stop washing your hands. Don't stop wearing your masks. Don't stop this, have social distance. All this, don't go to, and he does it. But this one here does not even know. I don't know. You look at the way they are celebrating because Baba is in the hospital. You don't celebrate for somebody's death. You don't celebrate. This disease is out here. It can catch your son. It can catch your daughter. It can catch you yourself. So please, pray for people who are under these conditions to come out of them. The vaccine, from my view, take it. Especially the media. We are in the front line. We are also part of a social group. All media journalists that are registered with their cards on emergency. That's why the media is given special cards to cover incidences. Take it. There's a disease in the hospital. A journalist is there. And I call upon the government to include the media as one of the essential groups. Because the media is very essential. People who are on broadcasting, who are spreading news, who can gather news must have those jobs. As the government goes on to line up its tally of those they want to give this job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And yesterday I saw an article by another lady, I can't remember, in one of the dailies, and she was of the opinion that the church should be involved, should be very active in creating awareness and encouraging their congregants to go and have this vaccine. It appears when it comes to a matter of life and death, we tend to face our spiritual leadership to show us the way. Should the spiritual leaders, both the church, the Muslim community leaders there, the Qadis, should the religious community leaders be on the forefront in encouraging Kenyans to go get the vaccine and create awareness? And will this make an impact in how Kenyans are able to perceive or even receive or be open to this vaccine? Javen.
Thank you very much, Miriam. And before I answer your question, let me isolate this a question that you asked earlier about where do we need the vaccine and about the blood clot and so on. One thing, Miriam, we must get it clear is that we act differently from these vaccines. And there's somebody, their antigens and their antibodies in the body will react differently. And maybe that is a case why people are having blood clots. But all said and done, the vaccine is good for all of us. We need to get vaccinated so that we can go on with our business, so that we can save lives. Because if we can protect ourselves from contracting the virus in the first place, I think that is more effective, because taking vaccine, washing of hands, wearing of mask, these are preventive measures, because vaccine will not heal you, but it will prevent you from contracting the virus. I think combined with other government protocols, washing of hands and so on, we will go a long way in ensuring that we curb the spread of COVID-19. Therefore, the vaccine, because they have been tested and it have been 100% guaranteed that it will protect ourselves and it's healthy for us, let's all Kenyans, and if possible, the government should ensure that by May or by mid this year, all Kenyans get vaccinated, so that we can see the steps that will take forward. On the issue of the church and the mosque leaders, the clergy being the front line of advising their congregation, to me, in one way, Miriam, there are people who depend so much on what their spiritual fathers and the spiritual dads are telling them.
Leaders.
Therefore, they need...
Let's call them spiritual leaders.
Also, maybe if the church can come in and encourage their congregants to go and take the vaccine, that will be a boost to ensure that those people who are more spiritual and who are more into the church and mosque, who depend on what the sheikh is saying, they can go and take the vaccine. Also, and when doing that, we should avoid church leaders who spread the gospel of misconception, misinformation, and some conspiracy theories here and there. I think those kind of pastors should not be given a place to be spearheading this gospel of vaccine, because they will end up confusing their congregation. Because not the first time that we have seen people in this country, young kids, young babies, avoiding parents sidelining to take their kids to take the immunization, BCG, and so on. Therefore, we need to come out clear and have the right minds of the pastors, the people who are in their right sense, soberness, who will be doing this, because we have the church that discourages people from taking any form of medication, any form of vaccination, because to them they believe that Jesus Christ will make ways where there seems to be no ways. But all said and done, Miriam, we need to be clear. Everybody in this country, not only the church, everybody, the musician, the artist, everybody, journalists, political figures, public figures, they should ensure that we spread this gospel, we bring the right information to the people, so in the villages, so that they can understand the need to get this vaccine. They can understand the need of wearing a mask, the need of washing their hands. I think this is a responsibility of all Kenyans, of ensuring that we are all getting the right information. And finally, Miriam, we should also understand that this disease will not will not infect us as a team, as individual, as persons who are getting the disease as an individual. So when someone tells you not to take the vaccine, not to observe the government protocols, one should understand in the back of their mind that if I contract the disease, I will suffer the consequences alone. Therefore, we should avoid the issue of bringing the government or the President Uhuru Kenyatta has not been vaccinated, or when the diseases catches up with you, when Corona catches up with you, you'll suffer the consequences as an individual. So we should take responsibility as individuals to ensure that we protect ourselves first, so that we can be able to protect those who are around us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Musa.
Miriam, thank you so much. I think I've had all good inputs from the panelists. Mine is very simple, Miriam, and this is pandemic, and when pandemic comes, and it, especially if it's a virus, Miriam, we are not. I think it shall take more than a decade, Miriam, for this pandemic to fully get its total eradication, or even more. And what do we mean by this? We are going to live with COVID-19, Miriam, indefinitely. We are not going to know the time because of several issues here. As long as the vaccine is there, Miriam, just know there are some countries in this continent and in this world, Miriam, even vaccine integrity and transparency is something which is not, really given priority. I've read the news channels from Denmark, the issue of blood clotting there. These issues, Miriam, also, as Dr. Matsanga said, is also alluded to the fact that these patients have had some sense of, underlying conditions of being asthmatic, being diabetic, being, having high blood pressure, and so on and so forth. So I think for Kenyans, especially frontline workers, this is not an issue of religion. How I wish uh, our pastors and our sheikhs could have been active the same way they have been active in opposing this vaccine, in fighting corruption, Miriam, and in fighting issues of bribery in this country. If indeed we could have such a concerned people in this country, in this society, when it comes to the issues of corruption and the issues of abuse of office, then we could have reached far long ago, Miriam. But here we are focusing ourselves on a very unnecessary issue, and that is as far as this vaccine is concerned. African countries don't have capacity to build this vaccine and to develop it, Miriam. We were so desperate. You remember very well the herbal from Madagascar, the herbal which was used by the likes of Eswatini to be purchased full for the people. We've been desperate in getting the right vaccine for this. So I don't think this is the right time to contemplate on whether something is good or not. And I believe in this sense, Miriam, yes, it might bring side effect. Even today, when you take a painkiller, the side effect must be there. The only medicine which you take and you cannot have a side effect is water, Miriam, and food. So, even in food, we have allergies and we have people who are not, adaptive and responsive to these issues. So, as far as this country is concerned, 65% of the population are young people. I don't see anything related to clothing, even if we are going to give this jab, the government is going to give. So far, so good. If there could have been issues of, blood clotting, we could have heard from agencies and media reports. We are heading into a week and we've not had any. So Miriam, I believe we are heading in the right direction. The only concern I have is how much and how fast are we going to administer this vaccine? This is a country battling issues of debts. We are battling balance of payment here and there, Miriam. Our economy has been squeezed to a level of, some countries in this continent growing to a deficit. So how fast? The Kenyan government have said they are going to administer nearly by June of 2023. They are going to administer nearly 30 million Kenyans. This should be put up much faster, Miriam, because even if it is by funding, even if it is by international goodwill, the same way India has really given Kenya a boost of giving this vaccine to them, then it should be something of that. And we need to integrate and make the vaccine, Miriam. Remember, we live in a capitalist society. I would not be shocked. Private companies purchasing this vaccine and selling them at hiked prices to Kenyans. So the government should make this vaccine a basic commodity which can be afforded and which can reach every Kenyan in every corner of this country, Miriam, so that we avoid that market proliferation whereby we can have third parties, coming in and giving some, insensible issues of vaccine. Religious clerics, sheikhs, Muslims, the pastors, I think they should focus on healing. They should not focus on treating, Miriam. Treating, it is also said that it is the doctor who treats, but it is the God who heals. So let them focus on treating, building a national reconciliation, building those people who have been desperate, those people who have been in depression because of economic loss, because of, family loss, Miriam. People have lost their sons, people have lost their mother, people have lost wives, people have lost fathers, people have lost husband. I think the clerics should focus more on how they can build a stronger family ties and bonding with those people who have really experienced and had been victim of this COVID-19. As far as the issues of, treating is concerned, our doctors should be given, issues of protection, Miriam. As long as, you are administered with the vaccine, you should be careful also. You can't be administered with the vaccine and Javan will look out the other day after you had been administered with vaccine and say that, I've been vaccinated, so I can cough and I can, touch every surface I want to do. No, that is being irresponsible. And, we should move on with that kind of nature, of dealing with this pandemic. And finally, Miriam, I remember the Kenyan government has done its best. Somalia is yet to receive its jab. Ethiopia is the same. Uganda the same. Tanzania a bit. South Africa, yes. Francophones and Anglophones in the Central African Republic, we are among the first, Miriam. And that shows our goodwill. Remember, Kenya also participated in the trials of this vaccine, Miriam. You remember very well when some of the patients were used in trials, voluntary, Miriam, whereby you are not coerced to do anything. So Kenya has played a key role in as far as, being ready, as far as research and helping in better ways. I know we don't have that capacity of building and developing a complex vaccine, but we've played our role, Miriam.
Okay.
And as far as I can speak, we are not worse than South Africa, whereby we've seen a lot of casualties in place. We have tried our best. I can see only the political class which have been really suffering, Miriam, and you can't blame Kenyans for that. People have been warning these politicians of don't attend these rallies, and these are the effect, Miriam. You've seen the other day, Kimani Ngunjiri was really shouting to the president, lift the curfew. He lost his son. And we continue to complain, these are the consequences of not of not following a simple rule. Put on a mask, avoid gathering. And some of the Kenyans have lost their lives because of these politicians, Miriam. So going the way forward, we see the better integrity of this vaccine. We see how transparent it can be. Yesterday, I saw the president for Rwanda, Paul Kagame, being administered with the vaccine. That will be the same role, Miriam. Apart from Dr. Mon, President Uhuru Kenyatta said he is going to take the vaccine at his own time. He should lead us, because now a lot of misconception is coming up, religious diversions, now blood clotting. People are really becoming afraid, and such kind of information floating among the public space, it's dangerous, Miriam. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And you brought in the name, the panel has brought in the name of the president of Tanzania, and they have just run the story, but we'll not talk about it, so that you're able to talk about President Uhuru Kenyatta's speech today, and maybe what you expect the president will address today, and if at all he will lift the night curfew. The story on page 2 of the Standard newspaper: state officials in Tanzania have taken to social media to defend the continued absence of their head of state from the public, even as silence from the president's official communications channel persists. Today marks nearly 2 weeks since President John Magufuli was seen in public. Rumors within and outside Tanzania continue to spread about the whereabouts of Magufuli. Yesterday, Tanzania's Cabinet Minister for Constitution Affairs, Mwigulu Nchemba, countered allegations by the country's leading opposition figure, Tundu Lissu, over the head of state's whereabouts. And this is what is quoted as saying, "Let us stop this stupidity. You have sullied the name of the country. You have wished that we fail, and now you're wishing ill over our president. Those who are breaking the law, think about what the penal code says on cybercrime. The government is at work," the minister said by close of business yesterday. This remained the most notable comment from a high-ranking state official on the president's continued, absence. And Tanzania's government spokesperson have stayed mum during days of speculation over the 61-year-old Magufuli's whereabouts and health. Representatives of Kenya's and India's governments, also contacted by Reuters, have not given information either. Raila yesterday tested positive for COVID-19. What I've seen a lot of Kenyans do is wish him well, and we wish him a quick recovery. I don't know what's the big deal there, but we don't know really what's happening with President Magufuli, so we'll just leave that there. All right, very well. So now,
Miriam,
yes,
leaving it there,
because they've not confirmed.
Leaving it there will cause more confusion. The position is this: there is no human being who does not contract this disease. So whether you are cursing his absence or you are hiding the absence, the disease, the truth will always come out. The disease does not hide. In fact, it goes more for those who hide like that. It is very good what the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has done. Finished. I've tested positive, and these are my results. Because he's a world leader. He's a leader of the people of Kenya. People need to know. 2, whether Magufuli is in Kenya or not in Kenya or whatever, is not seen. It has now become a ping pong between the opposition man who is in Canada, who has not woken up to right yet, Remember, Magufuli and Mr. Ruto are real enemies, a dog and a rat. A dog, not a dog and a cat. If one gets the other, eats the other. You remember he was shot and he went out. This is the same guy who was shot, attempted assassination. He came to Kenya for asylum. He was taken away to Canada. Now from Canada is where he is throwing all this. Ruto is like a Moyo of Zimbabwe. Moyo will never see anything good about Mnangagwa. No. At least me, I say something about Museveni. It's good. The only thing something good about Museveni. The only thing he did not do is not to pay me my money. But apart from that, we disagree on politics and I leave it there. But I don't wish him death. Because I don't give out to death. So let people understand the difference between you wishing a person death, like people are wishing Raila Odinga death, writing some stupid things. You don't wish somebody death because you don't know when it will come to you. We don't know where COVID is. At least we know Ebola is by drinking very bad water. And if you drink water, you must boil it. But with COVID, it is the air we breathe. You might be walking and saying you are breathing, then you find the same COVID in your nose. What do? So let people understand and know that this is real. It is there. Whether Magufuli is hiding or is doing what, it is up to the Tanzanian government, which should have put their mechanisms of, if their president is not well, they know what to do and they issue a statement and tell the people that our president is taking 2 weeks of holiday. But when you look back, why maybe they are hiding is a few hours, days ago, the same president was telling us that there is no COVID in Tanzania. So maybe that is where the problem, the rubber has met the road, that the basic thing is to keep quiet. And then the opposition has taken this vacuum to pass information. There is no credible information so far from even Nairobi Hospital or Aga Khan or wherever. We have it. People have gone there and they have not seen any movement of a highly person to the equivalent of a president being kept in that hospital. These are news that have been spread by the opposition, led by Mr. Ruto, and it doesn't matter. It depends on the culture. It is only the next of kin of Mr. Magufuli who will be informed. That's the wife of Mr. Magufuli or the children. If he's not well, the doctors will contact those people. So this subject is in that format. There are those, maybe they don't want to say it, but there are those who want to use it to mock others, the way they are mocking Raila. Someone is even asking that Raila wrote that Raila will conquer. You see, when you write some things like that, when we know exactly you don't like Raila, just keep quiet. Wish him quick recovery, even if you hate that person. That's why most of the people have hidden Miriam to talk about this COVID. People have to keep quiet. Because imagine the amount of attention you get in the newspapers. Look at the amount of attention. It is the only one that kills you before you are killed. So that is the situation. But we wish, wherever he is, Magufuli, the former prime minister, we wish them quick recovery. Now that they have diagnosed the COVID-19, his own medicine, it is a matter of 5 to 10 days that whether the medicine is working or not working. So it shouldn't worry, and then we speculate on a number of things. Because everybody of this age, above 58, is vulnerable. It is only you younger people who can go on enjoying, but some of us cannot enjoy fully. It is the Karanjas who can have flu and keep quiet and walk around, but not the Matangas. The Musas can enjoy. But if you have again, you have asthma, you have these underlying diseases. This thing comes quickly. It comes to catch you because it has got a weakness where to enter through. So you are lucky that you have strong immune system cells fighting. It's a Karanja. That's why you can cough and talk. But when you are old in the 70s, you can't do both. When you are old in 60s, you can't do both. Let's agree on that. Let it not be a laughing matter. This thing catches everybody. It can come for a small boy, a small baby of two months. A newly born baby in the Kenyatta hospital was infected. You saw that. It is there. The only thing is that we must educate our people and emphasize and use this platform to tell them to go and wash their hands, to keep a distance, to wear masks. If you don't wear masks, don't think you'll die with the president. If you don't wash your hands, don't think you'll die with the president. It is your obligation, your role, as you leave your house, wear your mask. You minimize this thing flowing into your nose and the mouth. Don't touch everything that you want. That's the message, Miriam, we should put forward instead of speculations of Magufuli or this one or that one. He can be there. If he's there, we shall see. If he's around, again, how will you hide him? Let's see. But the propaganda seems to have come from, mostly from Mr. Lucy, who is supplying us with what he feels about Magufuli. So we want to find out what is from Tanzania, what is the real position. In fact, if you give me about 2 minutes, before you conclude, I would have found out from a close person who is a contact of Magufuli. Thank you.
All right, very well. Thank you so much. And of course, the minister there yesterday said that the president of a country is not a church worker, neither is he a church elder who did not show up as scheduled appearance. The president is not a TV presenter who had a show and failed to show up. A head of state is not a head of jogging club who should always be around taking selfies. That's what he said. All right, and I don't know if he understands that power abhors vacuum. All right, so let's look at our last topic of the day, and that is President Uhuru Kenyatta will today reveal the way forward in the fight against COVID-19. When the first case of COVID-19 was reported in Kenya in March last year, the government introduced stringent measures aimed at curtailing any possible spread of the coronavirus. All learning institutions were closed and health protocols introduced to keep citizens safe. These included the mandatory wearing of masks in public places, hand washing, sanitizing, and keeping social distance. The virus caseload on Thursday evening was at 111,185 cases from 1,352,126 cumulative testing. Data from the Health Ministry showed that 91 patients were in ICU on Thursday, up from 89 on Wednesday. The Council of Governors has urged the President to enforce a ban on all rallies for another period of 30 days to allow for the flattening of the curve. So I'll just start with you as we give perhaps our final submissions there. I'll start with you, Douglas Kirimi. What are your expectations on President Uhuru Kenyatta's speech today?
Miriam, I was of a different perspective that the president opens the curfew and everything, but owing to the people that have lost their lives in this country, and knowing that COVID-19, if it is not with me, it is with someone else. And knowing that if I'm not affected by COVID-19, it has ravaged a lot of lives across the world and especially in our republic. And knowing that I have not gone to hospital this year, knowing that last year I have not gone to hospital many times, there are thousands and also including millions of Kenyans that cannot access better health care, and hospitals are so full. I'm told that ICUs in every hospital are full, including the ones who were built the other day by governors and also the national government. The president should cross this country completely and make sure that curfew returns at 7 p.m., maybe to contain this third wave of coronavirus. And another perspective is that the president should ban with the jail terms and also maybe execute, maybe declare an executive order that any politician that conducts a political meeting from today, Miriam, should be stringent measures should be taken against them. In the case case in point is the Right Honorable the Prime Minister has been doing meetings across the country, and even the President himself has been breaking these laws, these protocols, Miriam, by when he goes out to inspect these projects, he meets people and he greets them, and these people sometimes have no mask. Another greatest impediment to the fight against the coronavirus is Dr. William Ruto, a man who's CEO of humanity, who has been ferried to these crowns, the both crowns that have been meeting. I've seen Jevan laughing, but it is true. Even in Bundarangi yesterday, they pay people to come to these meetings, Miriam. And this is something that should be taken with the seriousness that it deserves. The president should be able to now declare an executive order, including himself, should be bound by that executive order to contain these crowns, Miriam. Because, Miriam, why would a politician tell us about 2022 when we have a serious health emergency that has killed the people? This is the same politician who has gone out here and also caused deaths of thousands of people in his rallies. Because, Miriam, the mother of Jane Kiara, when they went to greet her when she was sick, they made sure her condition is worse and they died, and many others, Miriam. I cannot be able to substantiate things that are in public domain. There are so many people who have lost their lives, especially in these rallies, Miriam. There are so many people that have been sick, and I'm very particular about the poor people of this nation. When these poor people cannot have food on their table, they are sold up in political rallies, Miriam. You should be able, as a president in a country, contain people like your deputy and other politicians to stop holding these meetings, Miriam. If it is a must, they hold meetings, they can use Zoom, they can use national television or national radio. We can listen from them from KBC, Miriam. Actually, the law says when elections are near, the state broadcaster should give some precedent to some people who are running for office. They should be given some space in either on radio or television in the state media, because if 2022 is so near to you, why are you killing the people of Kenya? And my expectation is that these political rallies should be struck, because, Miriam, a poor person that cannot afford daily food and daily bread, if they are called at Urupak to be sold up, they'll just show up, Miriam. And remember, none of these people who comes to these rallies with their wives and children, Miriam, none who come with their relatives, Miriam, they come to write to the poor people of this nation, the roi poroi in this of masses of this nation, people that die. Even Ministry of Health itself announcing who died and who did not die is a problem. But when a prominent person is touched by a common flu, Miriam, we are told that they have gone to the highest hospital in their country, or maybe they have been thrown outside the country. Who will fry poor Kenyans out of the country? So the president, and my expectation is that this afternoon he shall strongly come out against the ban on political rallies, and also bring an executive order maybe of sorts to contain these politicians, especially William Ruto. William Ruto is a man that asks me so much, Miriam. A man that will just move across a county over 3-4 days, sleeping in the same county, greeting people with reckless abandon, with no mask, without even cautioning people about the coronavirus and all that. I have heard Dr. Masanga praise General Museveni, but I have a small problem with Museveni. Museveni has not been able to pay people like Dr. Masanga, who brought peace in Uganda after he told the UN that he can be able to take care of that. How can you chase a person out of his own country and refuse to pay a refugee? General Museveni, you should be ashamed of yourself and pay refugees their money so that they can take care of their family. Okay. Thank you, Miriam.
All right. Musa, What are your expectation today from the speech President Uhuru Kenyatta is meant to make in the afternoon later on?
Thank you, Miriam. I think one of the things I'm expecting from the president's address in the afternoon is that maybe there shall be an extension of the curfew, which has been happening at night. That is expectation number one, because as CS of the health, Mutai Kagwe has put it, that the third wave is here with us. So I'm expecting that extension of that date, and maybe possible we are going to see until maybe May, June, or another 60 days addition. Another stuff I'm seeing is that, Miriam, maybe the president might take the full encouragement of the Kenyans to have a home-based care, because CS Mutai Kagwe has put it just 3 days ago that all the ICUs are full to the capacity, Miriam. So I'm seeing the Ministry of Health taking another approach of putting more emphasis on home-based care, which is really another good advent. Also, Miriam, I'm going to see maybe President extending the arm of adding essential people to receive the vaccine. The essentials have been put it, the people of the bank, the soldiers, the doctors. Maybe I'm expecting the president to add to the list more and more people, and even an executive order to be given out maybe to his cabinet ministers and to the governors to, for the people to believe and to trust the process. They should be taking the jab the very first in public and in the eyes of the media, Miriam. That is what I'm expecting. And I will not be shocked even President Uhuru Kenyatta taking the vaccine today, maybe in public. I will not be shocked. That is my expectation. Maybe today, after he has delivered a speech, maybe a public address, maybe being administered with the vaccine publicly. That is what I'm expecting. And finally, Miriam, my expectation is that maybe on issues of traveling now, I might see the president revoking another agenda of maybe those people who are coming into this country as tourists or as people who are traveling to be issued with COVID-19 certificate. I see Kenya taking that step also as one of the combative measures, because we are here to live with COVID-19, Miriam, and one of the issues and aspects I'm seeing maybe these essential people and even leaders should be issued with, maybe they can have that certificate of proving that they are negative in that sense, Miriam. Yes, so those are my submission, Miriam.
Okay.
I submit.
Thank you so much, Jevan Karanja. Is President...
Okay, thank you so much, Miriam, for the question. I expecting not so much differently from what Douglas and Musa have said, because I extended the president to extend the curfew and maybe to also bring a strict adherence to already established protocols like wearing of mask, washing of hands, and so on. I also see the president emphasizing more on the Kenyans to take the vaccine because I think that is something that he'll emphasize more. I also see the president talking of the issue of economic perspective when it comes to dealing with COVID-19. And if he'll talk of more strict measures, I see him talking of the issue of the economy and how maybe the small business operations will be affected in one way or the other. And we saw last year March when President gave a tax relief, a tax reduction of tax. I think is something that it may be not a surprise if he does the same today, because I see him coming with more strict measures. Also on the issue of the political gathering and the social gathering, I see the president coming with strict measures to ensure that he bans political gatherings, and if there must be strict adherence to government protocols should be put in place. Also in the social gathering, in burials, weddings, churches, and so on, I see the president coming with an order where maybe the number will be reduced to where it was of 15 to 30 people gathering in one Sunday service in the case of our churches. That to me is an expectation. I also see the president talking of the issue of the matatus and the transport sector, because here, Miriam, is where the routes have been neglected the most. When you go to a bus, nobody is wearing the mask, the congestion and so on. I see the president also advising the matatu operators to ensure that they adhere to these measures, and everybody should be wearing their masks, sanitizing and so on. Therefore, I see the mood of where we were in last year March really coming into play. I am not expecting less of what was happening in last year March, but more I don't see him the succession of movement being put in place, because already people have interacted, and with vaccine in place, I see maybe we can continue going across, provided we adhere to these measures. To me, that is what I'm expecting the president to deal with. But mostly important, political rallies, social gathering, they are the super spreaders of COVID-19. It should be adhered to, not only the curfew, but all other things and operations that happen during the day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. As we conclude, is President Uhuru Kenyatta likely to hearken to what the governors there requested, that all political rallies be banned for 30 days, even as we look forward to the state of the address he will be giving to Kenyans today? All right, Doctor is not there. Is he?
Unmute.
Yeah, there you are. Miriam, thank you very much. One, if I were President Uhuru Kenyatta today, people have gone back to slumber. Slumber. Miriam, go to the supermarket. Is there anyone still washing hands? Is there? Anybody sanitizing hands?
Yeah. A lot of supermarkets, they do that. They sanitize.
Yeah, at the door.
Yes.
People are fighting. Their scurries are fighting with them to wash hands. I've observed that. Hey, kuja mikono. No, people have slumbered. They have gone back. Matatus. I think that is where the disease is. They are full up to capacity. Yes. There is nothing carrying like a 777. Stand on the roads, your roads. People are doing the same thing. An observation by some people that I sent there in Nairobi indicated so. The matatus are full. If I was the president, bring back that matatu. Social distance is not accepted. In a nutshell, Miriam, why people are crying for this opening is to go and have alcohol. Is there anything extra? Is there anything extra which is not happening? Is the plane not moving? Is the train not moving at hours? You want to go to Mombasa, you can go. Yes, at night even. The plane leaves at 10 o'clock and you do the curfew, you reach Mombasa. Do you know what time? You reach there at 3:30, you wait for 30 minutes in the train and you wake up and start moving in Mombasa. Is there any problem there? People are grumbling for this to be removed in order to spread more. Yes. Let's first inject the men who will help us. Let the president maintain that all frontline workers, the security agencies, the police, all these doctors, everybody get injected, vaccinated with this thing. And the essential services, including the media, because the television stations will not work if every journalist is going to collapse on the floor. Then, dusk to dawn curfew for 1 month. I might be harsh, but I might be right. Kutoka saa moja mpaka saa 10. Watu watoke mjini, because you know what, Miriam, you have given people in Britain right now, you can't enter a bar, a nightclub. You can't enter a bar to take a pint without your code. Without the code, you can't enter to have lunch. Is it not a democratic state, madam? You can't just go and say nataka chakula mlima moja na chapati leta mlima mafupa. No, have to show your barcode. Barcode is barcoded like this on the phone. I'm telling you, there's a lady standing outside. Barcode. The machine does this. It does. They say, aha, that one has it. Has got it. What we want is free. Go and sit. Have a seat. In Britain, isn't it Britain a democracy? The older democracy that taught us this democracy we talk about. You have to enforce here now. The things going on here now are not very good. People have slackened. People don't wash hands. People drink. Bars are working day and night. When you give people up to close up to 11 or close at 10, you know what you are doing? They close the first layer, the curtain, at the outside layer, then the inside layer, keep quiet. They drink up to about 4. Then they start driving their cars home. Check this. So what I expect the president to do, I think he might vary the curfew. 2, all this political wheelbarrow man, his helicopter must be put under siege. That it should not fly, only for him going to Sungoi and back, but not going to address rallies. The Kenyan airspace must be get rid of these stupid helicopters that were bought out of money that the Kenyans wanted. Yes, because church services, restrict them. No fundraising now in church services. The fundraising is the money. They gave a regulation, Miriam, that they were going to use M-Pesa. But you have found the deputy president carrying a heap of money like this, which is contaminated. He is contaminating people. Ban those church gatherings. Ban political campaigns for now. 1 month. That is what is expected. And take the jab. Take the vaccine. Take the vaccine. Take the vaccine. That thing is very bad. It's very bad. It's one of the most killers that I've ever seen. Once you lose your breath, you are gone. So please, take precaution, Kenyans. Wash your hands. Keep a distance. Don't go unnecessary. Wear your mask. Please. Economy can be revived. Economy can work tomorrow. And the president also should look at rent payers. People who pay rent, who cannot afford, who are not working. I expect him to look at that angle. Those who are supposed to repay loans, I expect the president to look at those rent and give another period of grace for the loans to be repaid. You notice that so many people's businesses are being auctioned at the moment. We should not allow that to happen. And that is, and then strictly change the method. Most of the people coming in have their certificate. But when you go with the Kenyan certificate abroad, they don't look at it. So it is becoming meaningless. The Kenyan certificate in European countries is not recognized. Some countries are putting people under 10 days mandatory. And you pay the money, Miriam, in advance, 1,750. For example, if you want to enter Britain, 1,750 pounds. 250 is paid at the British Embassy in Nairobi. If you're Kenyan going to travel to London, you have to pay that money before you enter London. And as soon as you reach London, whether you have a certificate or not, and you see the costs, you have got already a certificate in Kenya paid like $100. Then when you reach Heathrow, the certificate is useless. They don't look at it. Those are some of the things that we should look to synchronize. I want to thank you very much. I've been here with you, back to you in the studio tonight on Diplomatic Leaks at 8 p.m. East African Standard Time. We shall have Somalia-Kenya Maritime Dispute Part 2, which is, should Kenya go to the ICJ? Those who want to join should join by dialing our Zoom number is on. The production team should put the Zoom number on the poster. If you want to join in and make a contribution, it's one of the most interesting shows coming up now, tonight at 8 p.m. East African Standard Time, Somalia, Kenya Maritime. You know, on Monday, should Kenya go to the ICJ? Yes or no? Look for your facts and table them. Musa, don't forget. Douglas, don't forget. Karanja and the rest. When you have time, now you log in straight to where I am. And we shall have all the discussion there. If you have time, Miriam, you can log in. If you are not there, don't worry. We go on. We shall have a visiting professor, Professor David Hoyle from London, who will be on the channel. And we have also Professor Amukoa Onangwe, who will be joining us with the rest of the panel and other ladies from South Africa who would want to chip in on the question. And we have invited the Somali ambassador, former ambassador in Kenya. If we will take up the Zoom, that is okay for us. Should Kenya go to the ICJ? That is the thing at 8 p.m. East African Standard Time. Join us to discuss the subject of the dispute of maritime nature. There you are. There you are. We have it. Miriam, thank you. I've done my best. Thank you very much. Right. And shortly, over the weekend, you relax, feel at home, all of you. Thank you very much for having been there the whole week. And the report on the legacy is going to be on our website shortly. You can download it and enjoy it and read and have more facts. That is our first submission. That is all I can say for now. Unless there's something else, God bless you and God bless Punchline Africa Television, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. David Matanga. Thank you, Javan Karanja. Thank you, Musa. And also thank you, Douglas Kirimi from Meru. And on page 2 of the Standard newspaper, Somalia omitted a 7-word sentence outlining how it ought to amicably resolve a maritime dispute with Kenya out of court. So the story, we have it on page 2, Doctor. I'm sure you can find that online. We'll send that link to you. So maybe you should consider that when you do your evening show. Very interesting.
Which one is that, Miriam?
On the Standard newspaper. They'll send you the link after the show. It's quite interesting.
No, tell me it so that I look for it.
All right. Let's just end the show and then I will let you know. Page 2 of page 2 of the Standard newspaper.
Okay, send me the link, production team.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Sunday, God willing, for Africa Showdown. My name is Miriam Mugutu. Good afternoon.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.